What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Decentraland Mana today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Mana, I made my last video like 5 days ago. Okay, cool. That's good. I want to make sure I'm keeping up with this thing, especially on days like this. We're moving up. We're up 8% this week. We're up 8% today, 8.17. Gotta love that number. 27.7 cents now. Looking to bullishly engulf yesterday's price action. We have 4 hours and 4 minutes left. Sorry, 4 hours, 41 minutes left in this day. Anything's possible. We could pump 8%. We could dump 8% and just absolve ourselves of this bullish engulfing candle. But I will say the daily RSI, you guys, it's looking pretty good. This is looking, it's bearish overall. Don't get me wrong. Living below the 50 is not good. And especially with the more that you scope out, it doesn't look so good. But this higher low, kind of higher high scheme that we're doing right now, I'm about it, man. I'm about it. It looks all right. We have had this before, and it resulted in death and destruction. Could it do the same thing here? Absolutely, it could. I don't think we're in the downtrend of this overall RSI right now. I don't think we're in that downtrend anymore. But just because you're not in a downtrend doesn't mean you can't go lower. Let's see. In fact, let's see if we have a good example of that. Okay, like here, we had a downtrend. Let's see. Yeah, here's your downtrend. You broke out of it. Was that your low? No, you went lower still. But I do expect that if Mana hasn't found its low, I expect that it's very near its low. Yesterday, you came down and you closed right at your prior area of support here on February 3rd. And now you're having a very positive reaction. This is good. This is actually really nice, you guys. I like the 4-hour RSI. Bouncing, rejecting the oversold. Rejecting the oversold zone. Sorry, I thought I heard my cats. They've got new friends living in this area now. Getting above the 60 is nice, but also anytime that you've been right here, literally right here, you seem to find resistance right at this area. So this is the test of truth here. This will be where we see if we are moving up or if we're not. If by the time most of you guys watch this video, this 4-hour period is closed, we're here and now we're lower, we probably will see lower lows than this. And I want to prepare, even though this is bullish right now, I want to prepare you guys for lower prices because I do assume that we are going to go a little bit lower across the whole crypto space. Does that mean Mana has to drop? No, that doesn't mean it has to, but likely it does. You know, from a low to a high here, I think that we should all be prepared for something on the lines of a 20 to a 30% drop, and the 2272 right here, the 1272 is right there at 22 cents. That is about a 20% drop. And then if we go to the 1618, that's right there at about a 25% drop. I think it's completely possible and reasonable even to suspect that Mana still could go down to 22 cents to 20.6 cents. It's very, very possible. The way that we absolve that, of course, is if we close today here or higher, that's nice, but we have to continue. We can't find resistance here like we have every other time on the 4-hour RSI. We need to see something different. And even more than that, not just a taste of the oversold or overbought zone, but a living standard in there, right? We want to see overbought and we want to see support in this area or support in this area, right? We don't want to get back to the oversold area. We don't want overbought, oversold. We want this paired with the overbought readings, right? That's what we want. So sustained growth essentially is what we're asking for, right? If you want to validate this as a low, prove to me that I'm wrong and you're not going lower. If you want to validate that, what I would need to see, let's see, maybe from this high to this low. I feel like that's not appropriate. It seems so obscure, but because if we're on a 4-hour basis, it's less obscure, right? Let's zoom out real quick, right? Like that's your discernible high to this overall like bottom phase of consolidation. So that high to this low here, I mean, to be fair, man, I like what you're doing. Bouncing off the 382, bouncing off the 236, coming back up, rejecting the 382, down to the 236, coming up. That's a nice look. That does get you set up for the golden ratio. So do that. Get above 30.35 cents. Close above there. Close above 31 cents. Hell, any higher is better. Do that on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be today. It can be tomorrow. It can be 3 days from now. But whenever you do decide to do that, that'll validate this as a low. Or maybe we go lower, and then you'll have to close around that same area, and then that'll validate the next low as a low. But either way, 22 cents to 20 cents, we're up from here. Inevitably, if we go down and then up, if we just go up, I assume that we're going to be heading to the same target destination, right? If we look at this on a weekly basis, and I'm assuming, I would assume we go a little bit lower than that low to be completely fair, but I think it'll be like a fake out low. Right now, what Mana is doing, it might be very boring, but it's actually really good from a structural standpoint. Like if you showed any person, like a traditional market analyst, a stock market analyst, and you told them, look, I can't tell you anything about what this stock is, and it's a crypto, it's not a stock, but I can't tell you anything about this stock. What would you say about the charts. How does it look? They would be like, dude, this is a ripe buying opportunity. This is a good looking, that's a nice phase of accumulation. You're holding good structure. Looks like you want to go up, man, from a low to a high here. You're bouncing off of your 0.5, maybe go down to your 618. You know, you could go a little bit lower, but this is a great time to DCA. At least in my opinion, it would be. And I think a lot of people wouldn't have a problem with that either. If we're looking at this, I'm just curious, how high do we went all the way up to the 1886 area. If we go from a high to a low here, and assuming this is the low, and I do assume that's the low. If not a little bit lower, could be the low. But even if we go a little bit lower, I think it'll be a fake out low, and this would still be the low to count on this overall measure move. Okay, tomato, whatever. I would assume being at 27 cents now, our immediate move up when it is time to move up, we'll break through this and we'll rally. We'll rally super hard, you guys, all the way up to $1.60 to $2.10, somewhere in that area. That'll provide a nice 6.3x to potentially a 8x move from the current price. It's going to be nuts, man. Mana's going to blow up. It's going to be phenomenal. And that's just the first stop. We absolutely could go higher. Mana from the current price could see an overall 11 to a 15x. It's very possible. I'm a little bit more doubtful that we just run up to here, but there's plenty of cryptos that have been accumulating like this cycle, that when they do run up, they run up basically right to their prior cycle highs. So don't throw that out of the equation. In time, whenever it is time to go higher to new all-time highs, and that will happen this cycle, I'm very confident it will. $14.50 is the minimum target, and that's at a 55x, you guys. 55x at a minimum. The 1618, which is a very doable target as well, that's 175x from here. So crazy targets. From a 50x, 55x to 176x, 175x. Crazy potential in this thing. It absolutely has a lot of potential. It's the OG metaverse token of crypto, of the world, of humanity. There's no way in hell that I see it, and especially doing what it's doing now, there's no way that I see it doing anything less than something at a new all-time high. The minimum target's $14.50. You're at 27 cents now with the prospects to go even lower than this low, down to 20 cents. Maybe, hell, man, maybe you go all the way down to 14 cents. It's possible. But I just wanted to do a quick little update on this thing, tell you guys what my thoughts are. I do think it looks bullish. In the short term, it actually kind of looks rather nice. Can it, like the short term stuff looks good. The daily time frame makes me think that it could go lower. Although to be completely fair, that daily RSI has hopes for it, right? It wasn't the daily RSI. I'm sorry. The daily RSI looks really good. It's the 4-hour RSI that makes me think it'll go lower. But the daily RSI looks somewhat good. The 1-hour RSI looks somewhat good. The weekly could also go lower and still be fine, but it's not terrible looking. In fact, I mean, you are holding these higher lows as well. You know, there's a bunch of good things going for it, but just in the short term, if you can press higher, if you can get above like 32 cents, 33 cents, that would really validate to me that we're at the low and that we're probably not going to drop with the rest of the markets, or at least not drop as much, and that would be encouraging. So I got nothing else to say, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Mana is one of my bigger bags. It's definitely one that I've loaded up on. I've held on to for a while, and I'm actually considering buying more if we do go below 20 cents, but only if we go below 20 cents. Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Take care.